In this video, we're going to go over the inquiry question on page 139 and the what do you think on page 140. So question number one on 139, what are the strengths and flaws in each point of view? For the Korean citizen, the strength is the citizen sees the unfairness or inequality of having another country's culture, language, and religion forced on the people. The flaws, Korea might have needed help in becoming modern, and its cultural roots are similar to Japan's. The Japanese official strength, Japan was more modern and would help the people of Korea build infrastructure so it could become modern and strong. Both nations came from the same cultural roots. Flaws, Korean people did not ask for the help and might have different views about how to modernize and who should benefit from the modernization. Okubo Toshimichi, the Meiji advisor, the argument strength would be it would be too expensive to annex Korea, and the focus should be on building Japan, not on helping other countries modernize. Flaw would be Japan needed raw materials from these other countries in order to build a strong industrial economy. For Natobe Inazo, the Japanese envoy to Korea, the strength would be Japan was going to help all of Far Eastern Asia become strong industrial societies. They didn't intend to govern these countries forever, just until they were trained or modernized enough to govern themselves. Flaws, these countries had a long history of governing themselves before the Japanese came along. Why would the people of Korea need to be trained before acquiring self-government when they had been governing themselves for thousands of years? Question number two, put yourself in the place of the Koreans. How would you react to a takeover from another country? Now, your answers may vary quite a bit on this one, but one could be possibly violently protest and fight the Japanese military. Another reaction could be accept what the Japanese had to offer in skills and training and work towards self-government peacefully. Or three, accept the situation and live in the present without yearning for something else, according to the Buddhist philosophy. What do you think on page 140? How is the Protectorate Treaty similar to or different from Canada's treaties with First Nations people? The Japanese, like Europeans, did not value the cultural traditions of the nation they were taking over. In both situations, the experiences of the people living in the region being annexed were difficult because of the disrespect shown by the dominant nation. Both treaties took away the sovereign powers of one nation through force or threat of force. Both regions experienced great change after the treaties were signed. The way in which they had traditionally lived almost disappeared. Many of the valued religious or cultural or artifacts of the Korean and First Nations people were taken, sold, or destroyed because the dominant culture did not respect these artifacts as being important. Many First Nations people were given European-sounding names by the Indian agents, just as many Korean people were given Japanese-sounding names. In both situations, the dominant country wanted to secure land and resources to benefit their own citizens with little thought to how these treaties would affect the other nation in the long run. The key differences between the two types of treaties are that Korea protested the signing of the treaty to other countries around the world and got back their sovereign power after Japan's military defeat in the Second World War. Whereas First Nations people continue to this day to work under the treaties, forcing the government to live up to many of the promises made in the treaties to improve the lives of First Nations people.